Hello, 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 hello. How are we? Good morning or afternoon or whatever it is for you. It's Thursday, my dudes. It's Thursday. I was trying to think of what to do today, what to play today, because we finished Mafia. Um, so it's been a while since we demoed stuff, but I've got demos and some games that aren't demos. I thought we could just test it. I figured we would do that today. I did think about starting something that would be a longer playthrough, but I feel like starting that on a Thursday isn't the best because I do Friday and Saturday off of the main channel. That's like my quote unquote weekend. So I was like, it's better if I start it like Sunday because I'll do Sunday and Monday back to back, you know, and then Wednesday, Thursday back to back. So starting it Sunday as like the beginning of my week is better, I think. So yeah, I figured since today's Thursday and we tend to have 2 days of no main channel after that, we will do one-offs or, you know, something like that. There's also the Battlefield beta. I'm not looking to play it on stream like I was saying yesterday, but I'm gonna play that a bunch this weekend, I think. And get into it a bit. There were some other games I was playing with friends last weekend. Just sitting at nighttime playing shit to test out. One of them is a game where if you're in the early access beta as a creator, it's like under NDA, so I couldn't, you know, I couldn't stream it or talk about it, but I at least got to test some new stuff. It might not get released though, I don't know. It's in a weird phase, so we'll see. That's what I was doing last weekend. But this weekend, yeah, I want to play Battlefield because I couldn't last weekend. I had to test that other game because it was just, that was like the only time. So I will do that this week, probably a lot Saturday. I talked to Zed about maybe playing with him and some friends, so I don't think I'll stream it, you know, even on alt, just to make sure the game runs well, but I might play with a bunch of Aussies over the weekend. So if I'm on and playing with anyone else over the weekend at like 3 a.m., I'll let the Discord know. I'll put it in Geegan Out or something, wherever I am. The other day, over the weekend, I went into his chat and said hi. And he's like, "Hi, Giga, how you doing?" You know, because he's like a very Australian. Thing is, he sounds pretty Americanized, his accent. And then Whippy, who plays Dundee, super loud, "Who's that? Oh, is that Giga?" You know, he's so Australian. And then also in the call was Baza, who plays Barry Benson, who's also super Australian. And he's like, "Oh, who's that?" You know, like, I was laughing so hard. Just Zed trying to say hello, and that's these loud Australian voices. It was so funny. So fucking funny. I was like crying. I was like, oh my god. And like Whippy always sounds like he's yelling, even if he's not. He just has a loud voice, and his tone makes him sound like he's yelling all the time. "Is that fucking Gigo?" Igor. It was so funny. And who's else? I think Barky was the other person in the call, and he's not Australian, but you know, close enough. His South African accent. It was just funny hearing like the 3 Aussies start popping off. Oh, I was crying. But yeah, we'll see who I end up playing with this weekend. At the very least, Zed, because he was the one who gave me a code. He offered a code, and I grabbed it. And he was gonna play with I think Ashy and some other people. So we'll get a group together. I just again probably won't stream it, but if I am playing it, I'll let you guys know where. If there is a POV anywhere, I don't even know that there will be. I might play with some other friends in Discord, who knows. But that's what I want to do this weekend. I want to try out Battlefield because I haven't played a solid Battlefield game since like 3. I think I played a little bit of 4, but 3 and prior I played a lot of, and I liked them, so I would like to play them again. I just heard 5 wasn't as great as the old ones if you liked the old ones specifically. So, you know, Lippy's the embodiment of the CC mode. I know. That's like he should just stream with a PNG of that face and it would suit everything he says. Oh man. Yeah, everyone's saying six was looking really good. So yeah, I'll hop on it. And then I don't know why I'm yawning. I slept really well. It's been like this all week. I have some games that are either in demo or I have that I just wanted to maybe test. So let me tell you what I got. One of them that I have that wouldn't really be a demo or a test, is just a one-off, is I could play later Alligator. That one's always been on my list. There's a game called Kabuto Park that is about you collect beetles and then you have them like fight each other. It looks pretty good. So I wanted to try that one. There's Egging On, which is a little more of a rage game, but you're an egg. You're controlling an egg and you're rolling it around. There's the demo for Gecko Gods that I always wanted to do. I don't know if the game is good. I have no clue. I just remember seeing the trailer and being like, oh, it looks like you climb around as a gecko and explore. I want to do that. There's a new one that doesn't seem to be marketed at all called Is This Seat Taken? And it's like this little puzzle game, and it looks like it's logic puzzles with, you have these tiny characters, and you're looking top down at a place with a bunch of seats, like in an office or a restaurant or wherever. And, they all say things about what they like, and then you have to move them around, and you can't have certain people sitting too close to each other, because one will be like, I want to slack off, and you can't see, like, the boss next to him. Yeah, it was on the Indie Direct. Yeah. That one looked pretty cool. It didn't get a lot of marketing other than just being on the Indie Direct, so if it was a direct pickup for them, then it's probably pretty good. So yeah, I thought we could maybe demo that. Let me make sure I have the demo downloaded. Morbid Metal was one that I always wanted to demo. That one's not from this month. I saw it a couple months ago. It's like a hack and slash game that looks cool as shit. Let me install the demo. That's all I know. It looks cool as shit. It's published by Ubisoft, but I don't. Why is it opening? Don't open. Close. There we go. The demo was trying to open. It looks really good. And then there's one called One Move Away that looks simple that I want to try. It's another demo of a game called Out and About. Out and About, the game is for sale. It's a self-published thing. Yeah, Out and About. You like go around and forage and you identify plants, cook shit. You're like, it's like a rebuilding a community after a storm kind of thing. Looks neat. There's also one called Paper Clay. And Paper Clay, it's a 3D platformer, and it feels like an older game. It feels like a Banjo-Kazooie like, or a Mario like 3D platformer. I think it was directly inspired by, because it's like it has like two characters. Yeah, you cook shit. No, but this game has two characters, like one in a backpack on the back of the other one. So I think they're trying to make it like a Banjo-Kazooie like. So I really want to try that one. That was released in May. And then the last one I was thinking of was, there's a game that just came out called Ink Shade. It only has 5 reviews on Steam. It's another one where it was made and published by the same studio. It looks like a tabletop game where you have like a little hexagonal grid and you move pieces around. You do actions with them. I don't really know what the game is about, but it seems like it's like turn-based tactics, strategy, whatever you want to call it, but it has It kind of has Inscription vibes, like it's a meta puzzle game as well. That one looks really interesting, so I kind of wanted to try that. It has like horror themes. It's like very dark, but I really liked the visual theming of having like these little 3D minis on a board, you know? And I was like, ooh, what is this? I don't know. I saw it. I was like, ooh. So, and again, only 5 user reviews, which is what I really like testing. I really like testing stuff that like no one's played. Because a lot of other stuff, you know, a publisher or creators already picked it up and told you if they think it's good, whatever. I like to find shit that like no one's been touching. And this one is like it released today and no one's playing it. And I think that's like perfect sign that I should try it. What was the name again? Inkshade. Inkshade. I don't know what it's about, but it looks really cool. It looks really cool. And it is a roguelite, so you know how I feel about that. Are they good? 5 reviews are mixed. 4 of them are good. 1 of them is thumbs down. Only 1. The person says, wow, these battles are overtuned to hell. 3v9 on battle 2? Really? What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Mathematically impossible to have enough HP spread between characters to even make it to the gold tile and survive a turn of being attacked. 1.8 hours on record. All the other reviews are all good. Of people saying like really good 10-10. They're saying level advancement is like Slay the Spire Inscription with like a map where you navigate and go between levels. Gameplay top tier, very immersive. This guy said it was 100% worth the long time I waited for it to release. So I guess this person was following the project for a while. Another one says, I was promised ink and it was delivered 10 out of 10. Oh, man. Only complaint from one person that has a good review. They just said, only complaint is it's definitely too dark in some places. The game did visually look really dark, like straight up, just like there's a lot of shadow, and I'm like, maybe I'll turn up the brightness. I don't know. But I think that's kind of the point, right? Yeah, literally like a very dark game. Literally dark. It has I think it has horror themes, so it's like thematically dark, but like physically light-wise, it's too dark for this guy. He said in places, so maybe not overall. But yeah, I don't know. I think we test some stuff. Maybe we start with some demos and then we go into Inkshade after. Does that sound good? I think we do it like that. So let me put this in order. I'm moving my order around to these things. I think later Alligator we do on another day because that's like a complete game that I could just play as a one-off when I'm looking for something, right? So I think we move that over to another day. Yeah, I want to try Capital Park, Gecko Gods, stuff like that. Yeah, okay. Okay, I put it in an order. Have you ever played Ragnarok Online? I used to play disgusting amounts of it. Like, horrific. I played so much, and I used to card farm with friends all day. And I just... Yikes, you know? Yikes is all I'm gonna say. I played way too much. Way too much. Have you ever done room reviews? A little bit, yeah. Not too much. I don't dislike doing things like that entirely. I just find that I'm not super nice about everything. If I think someone's room is disgusting, I tell them that. And I find that people, even though they offer themselves up for being judged, they still get upset when they get judged. Yeah, so instead I did pet reviews. I was like, I'll just do pet reviews more so. I'm not opposed to still doing room reviews. I just like every time I do stuff like that, or if people are like, rate my fit or whatever, I'd be really honest, and then people are like, I don't like that you actually don't like this thing, and I'm like, well, you asked. Wasn't gonna say it if you didn't ask, but you literally put yourself out there, and then, you know. What can you do? What can you do? I don't get it, man. I don't know. I like doing reviews of stuff, though. I do enjoy it, so I should just do it anyway. Your room is hallway shaped? Ooh. Yeah, I think about like my old rooms and stuff that I used to live in a long time ago, and if I tried to put them up for room review, I'd have to like stand in the corner, put the camera on top of my head all the way to the back of the corner, and I still wouldn't capture much of the room because it's so tiny. So I don't know. I don't know. Are you more blunt about it or kind of mean? Just blunt, but people take bluntness as meanness, so that's a subjective question. I think I'm just direct. I don't even think I'm blunt so much as I'm just direct. Because if I see, like, let's say someone didn't clean up a mess in the corner, I would go, you should clean that up. Why'd you leave this out? You thought it was okay to take a picture of that and show it here? You clearly want me to see this. Right? Like, I would say things like that. I mean a mess like a spill, and it's just, like, on the rug, fresh with the cup next to it. You know what I mean? And then they'd be like, she's so mean. And I'm like, brother, either you baited this out of me on purpose and you left it there on purpose, or you actually thought this was, like, totally fine. Which is it, you know? I don't see that as mean. I think mean would be like, you know, judging the person off of that and assuming what type of person they are, which I don't talk about the person behind it like that, you know? Because that's when it gets into that realm of like, all right, maybe the person's just like a little depressed. Maybe we shouldn't say that, you know? But I will judge what I see in front of me, for sure. You want PC setup reviews? I could do that. I think I like that better, like a battle station, your desk kind of review, better than bedroom, because a bedroom is just like where you sleep for some people, and it's nothing to write home about. For some people, it's all in one room. For some folks, their office and their desk is separate from their bedroom, so I think, I don't know, I think the setup review I like better, or like workstation, battle station review, whatever you want to call it. So you're heading out to New York with this week. Is there any place not touristy I can recommend, or what should you eat while you're out there? I don't know you and what you like, but I would say, honestly, just look it up, because there's a little bit of everything there. So if there's a type of cuisine you like, maybe specify that and I can tell you a place. If you want French food, I like French cuisine. Go to the boucherie. Let me see. Let me find the place. This place, if you want a fancy little something something, you go there. That's for Laverick, who asked. It's not far from Midtown. It's kind of close to, like if you wanted to go walk in Central Park after, stuff like that. You go there so you can go eat and then go walk around. It has really nice seating that feels outdoor, but it's just out in the atrium. And if you're dragging people around with you and you want like one nice spot to eat, it's good, but it's not like 3-star Michelin French. It's like just good food French. You know, it's a gorgeous place. It's definitely more pricey, but if you're like going to the city and looking for something nice, I would go there to start, because it's so close to like other stuff that you might do. I've always liked this place. If I'm like dragging people around the city and they haven't been to the city much. If you want like a hole in the wall, really good spot, the ones that I know are like not really in Manhattan. I do know of ones in Manhattan. They're just like, the ones I want to recommend are not in Manhattan. I would say in this area though, where this place is, there are a lot of other bars around there that have really good food. So I would just and they have all different like styles of food. So I would just look up all the bars within a several block radius of this place. And a lot of them, the food menus, even though the main place just looks like a bar from the outside, a lot of them have really good food. If you're looking for something that's like not super expensive, you can get a drink and then just like, you know, sit there and eat whatever. I would recommend a lot of this stuff in around there. And then same thing if you go down to the East Village. Same recommendation. Look for places that are kind of drink oriented and then look at their menus. And you'll be able to get stuff that like tastes pretty good, is not hugely portioned, which because it's really annoying when you're traveling to get these enormous portions that you like don't even want to finish, no matter how good it is. You can't bring it home with you, you know, like it's just annoying. And a lot of the New York City hotels that you might stay in, they're not going to have fridges, so you're not going to have, you know, an easy time with that. So I would say the bars are good because they get you in quick too. And then any deli, any bagel spot for the morning, just to get like a bacon, egg, and cheese and go. I would just do that. Or if you like lox and things like that, you know, do that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's my one like slightly fancier recommendation, though, the one that I linked. If you're vacationing and you're like, I want food, you go here and you order like 5 things off the menu with a table of people, and it's oof. It's so good. It's so good. Didn't know that about New York City hotels. It depends on where you're staying, but a lot of the ones that are not more expensive, they don't really give you a fridge, or they have the tiniest mini fridge. They're like so small that you can't even fit your food in there. Like there's like nothing. It sucks. It sucks. But there's so much food out and available that you shouldn't need the fridge, really. So I kind of get it. But yeah. How about under the sink review? Ooh, I could review. No, all I'll do is look at people having a magic eraser and complain about them making microplastics. We don't want that. We don't want that. Did you know that, by the way, the reason why the Mr. Clean magic eraser works so well is because it's basically sandpaper, but made with microplastics. And then people are like, wow, it gets things off. It scrubs off all these little stains so well. And I'm like, yeah, because it's buffing them off. You're sanding it off. And then they're like, my magic eraser, as I use it, slowly like goes away. It shrinks down. And I'm like, yeah, because it's literally made of shredded plastic. No, what the fuck, really? Yeah. Here. What is the magic eraser made of? Yeah, it's melamine foam. This foam is a fine-grained abrasive material with structure similar to a very hard substance like glass. The unique structure of it allows it to act as a mild abrasive, effectively lifting up and trapping dirt and grime. It has an open cell structure. And over time, as you use it, all of the little bits go off. They also say... I don't know why that didn't play. You said, my wife didn't realize it was basically sandpaper used on the matte paint in our house. I had to repaint that part. Yeah. They're made of melamine plastic and like other plastics. It's considered non-compostable and non-biodegradable. When you use it to bits, it's just breaking down physically into microplastic. Yeah, they suck. TLDR, they suck for the environment. They're so bad. They're so fucking bad. It's literally like... It's when you sand something with sandpaper, the sand on the sandpaper breaks off as you're using it, and sandpaper becomes kind of smoothed down itself, right? Imagine that happening, but it's to the magic eraser as well. But instead of sand bits, it's just plastic. So, yeah, it just kind of sucks. It's a product I can't get behind, man. I can't. What happened to rags and elbow grease? Well, you can't get certain things off unless you literally scrub them like that. But then you have to like refinish that part of that table. You have to repaint that thing. And sometimes it's not worth it. And you should just let it be stained. right? When it's an actual stain embedded in something, I mean, you have no choice but to lift up whatever's there, you know, and get rid of it and replace it, or you just leave it. I don't know. When people want everything to be clean, that's fine, but when they want like all scuffs and scrapes and everything to be gone, you don't need to, as long as it's sanitized, you know? As long as it's sanitized. Rubbing alcohol helps with anything sticky. Honestly, you know, I learned a long time ago, because I love watching YouTube videos of people like deep cleaning stuff. You know, I watch Midwest Magic cleaning, right? I watch him, and he goes through like hoarder houses and things, and he specifically goes through situations and cases where the people cannot afford to hire a cleaning company, and he goes and does these free cleans, and then he makes YouTube videos out of them. And I like watching him do them because I just enjoy like a lot of what he says while he's doing it. I don't really care for the visuals of what he's doing as much as I care for like what he's saying when he's doing it, honestly. Because it's less about the satisfaction of watching it, more about like watching him and hearing him talk about it motivates me to clean my shit, right? But what I like is watching creators like him and others. I've learned over time about what cleaners you do and don't need. And there are a lot of people that are on like cleaning YouTube, you know, and they're showing off what they use to clean. And they're like, you don't need all of this. Pretty much all of them, they make a solution of like warm water, a little bit of alcohol, and a couple drops of Dawn dish soap for degreasing. And they mix that up in a spray bottle, and they use that as their all-purpose cleaner for like everything. I started doing that and stopped using a lot of like certain household cleaners, and holy shit, it's so much better. It works, and you don't like need this other stuff. Vinegar and baking soda? No. I need to clarify something on this, because I love I love this topic. I need to clarify something. You do not mix those. Vinegar is acidic, baking soda is a base, and when you put them together, they're kind of equally across from each other on the scale, somewhat, and you just make something that is neutral pH, and you've accomplished nothing. And yeah, there's also reaction. It becomes salt. So not only is it neither acidic nor basic, it's also just salt. So you don't do that, but you use the two separately. So what they'll often do is you'll make a paste of a little bit of water with baking soda, and you'll scrub a surface with that. So you'll have a brush or a rag or whatever, and you'll have the baking soda down, and that acts as an abrasive. And then you wipe that off, and once it's kind of back to neutral because you've used water to rinse and clean, then if you need to have something acidic on there to help get rid of more residue, then you use vinegar, right? Vinegar with a little distilled water, and kind of mix them, and you just go. You know, that's the way. So vinegar and baking soda separately, but both used in succession, can help you clean really well. But don't mix them together, because it literally, they just react to each other. You essentially get salt water. And it's neither, it's just neutral pH. So it doesn't even like do anything to the stuff that's on there. So just be careful. Just be careful with that, you know. It depends on what you're trying to clean with it, though. You said vinegar and baking soda is a physical cleaner as an aggregate. Yeah, but you don't add vinegar to it. You just make a baking soda and water paste, and then use vinegar separately later, because vinegar, the acidity of it is what breaks down and degreases some stuff. Okay? Please look this up. Please look this up. But use them in succession. And a lot of the time you don't need vinegar at all. Just doing the baking soda scrub and rinsing in an area, and then doing a normal soap and water clean after that is usually enough to get a lot of stuff off. Sometimes you need a degreaser. You don't need, you know, the other thing. And can we not make jokes about bleach and ammonia and all that? Because genuinely, some people in this chat are ESL, and they don't know the jokes. And we're not gonna be responsible for this, okay? I know you guys are joking, but still. I say this because I had a friend who was ESL, and people were like making that joke to him, assuming he just knew. And then he was like calling a friend and he's like, yeah, I mixed these two, right, to like make the cleaner. And they were like, no. Yeah, had he not called a friend, he might have actually just done it. Because he just doesn't know. Because English is not his first language. Okay. So, yeah, that's why I know we're joking about it. But, like, I've literally had a friend almost gas himself because he just, like, listened to people that were joking, not realizing they were joking. So, yeah, we'll be careful with that. We'll be careful with that one. Yeah, one of you, Aleppo, made a good point. You said use baking soda after the vinegar to neutralize also. Yes. It depends on the surface. Sometimes you don't need to do that as long as you rinse, though. Like, you don't... Just enough water to rinse it off will be enough, but... It depends. It depends. That's your biggest fear with cleaning videos? It just mixes every cleaner? Yeah, again, that's why the thing I've learned most is... What you need is you need to be able to disinfect and degrease. That's it. For most cleaning jobs, unless you're like descaling something or whatever, right? You just need to disinfect and degrease for like your kitchen. Which means you have water, you put a little alcohol mixed in, disinfect. Yay. You don't need to use pure alcohol, it's too much. You need to water it down. But a little isopropyl. And then they always put a couple drops of Dawn dish soap in there to degrease. Hooray, it's literally all you need. You don't need to use a lot. You don't need to suds up everything. You can wash your counters just with soap and water. I don't understand why people use specialty cleaners for it, other than maybe it's a little less messy to rinse, I guess, because they don't want to rinse, but you should. I don't know. But yeah, just, you're fine. You don't need it. You really don't need it. Same thing with like even wound care. People keep using like Neosporin and all these little things, but the majority of the heavy lifting will be done with just soap and water on most wounds. Soap and water will do almost everything you need. And then keeping it clean.
I was always told that if the paint isn't getting peeling from the walls, you're not using enough cleaners.
That's crazy. That's too much. Though you should wash your walls. You should. I feel like people don't. And not that you have to do it often, but like twice a year? Once a year? I don't know. You should also keep a wound moist. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you should bandage. Honestly, what I do, soap and water. And then if it's deep, yeah, I'll do Neosporin just in case. But usually just a little Vaseline and a bandage. Boom. Or just the bandage. Just the bandage is fine. But a little Vaseline if you need to keep it moist because it's like you really need it. It's a lot of area covered. Are we talking about cleaning? Biohazard cleaner for 2 years here? Yeah, I was talking about how people use all these crazy cleaners when a lot of the time they just need to degrease with a little soap. Yeah. A little alcohol and some water for some basic disinfectant. Like, people think you need so much shit. And they mix all these things that you don't need to mix, and it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. How do you wash a wall? Really simple. Water, wet rag, wring it out, little bit of soap, tiny amount. Okay, you don't need to like suds up your whole wall, and you wipe it down. And it's okay to leave a little soap residue on the wall. You don't have to like rinse like crazy, but you wipe it down, and then you get another clean one that you rinse out, you wring out, but you don't put soap on, and you wipe down again to remove soap residue. Boom. There you go. And you just wipe once, because the thing is, there's dust that sticks to your wall. Yeah, it depends on the type of paint. It does. Just look it up, whatever you have. But a lot sticks to the wall. And then on top of that, when dust sticks to itself, what happens? What's in dust? What's in dust often? Silica. Silica exists within dust, okay? And what does silica do? It sticks to itself. And if you've ever felt an area that's really dusty, you've ever touched it and your finger gets like tacky, sticky, that's silica, right? It's sticking to itself. And it gets gross. So if you don't wipe down your walls occasionally, it's so slow, but it builds up over time, and then you end up with like tackiness on the walls. So then when you try to repaint, you're like, why is this shit not going on right? Ooh, you know, why is my wall slightly discolored? Because everything sticks to it because it's sticky, you know? Yeah, they make really good ones out of pole. A little mop that you can use, just a normal ass mop, and you can just quickly wipe the wall down. I hate doing it because I hate the feeling of like wiping a wall. It's kind of like nails on chalkboard for me. So I really have to suck it up when I do it. I cannot stand it, but I do it anyway. I mean, you have to. I just hate the
Creatures,
feeling.
remember to wash your walls while doing your dailies. Undead and monsters, this message is not for you.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't like the feeling. It gives me like a little dahibis, whatever you call that feeling of nails on a chalkboard, where you get like goosebumps for a sec. I get that from wiping walls. I can't stand it. So I use like an old Swiffer, and I put a rag on that and wipe down the walls with that, and I just replace the rag. Do it like twice a year. That's what you gotta do, man. That's what you gotta do. Your walls are concrete and have like a texture. Oh, is it sealed with like one of those like glossy kind of ones, or do you mean it's just concrete? Well, concrete breathes a little bit. Concrete is slightly absorbent, so liquids and things can absorb into a concrete wall if it's not sealed. I would just dust it. I would just get a duster, which I know it might shred the duster a little bit if it has texture. So just use something that hopefully won't shred, a rag, whatever, and just give it a wipe, and don't really wet it very much. You know, if you can, if you want to, but you have to let that room breathe, and you have to be able to dry it out again. Otherwise, it's just gonna hold a lot of that moisture, which can be not so good. You don't want molding and all that. It should be sealed, but a lot of places don't actually have properly sealed concrete. Said you can use Dawn and hot water by itself to clean nearly anything. If you want to clean your kitchen completely, all you need is hot water and scrub and Dawn spray. That's what I've been telling everyone, like just a little dish soap. Just a little dish soap. If you need to disinfect really badly, some people will do that, and they'll put a little isopropyl into the water as well. As a cleaner, and that's for like your kitchen, that's for food waste, whatever. But if you're cleaning regularly with soap and water, you should be fine. Like, you shouldn't really need all of that stuff, you know. You really shouldn't. Concrete also just has a texture to it. Yeah, even if it's a pretty smooth down concrete, unless it's like completely like sandblasted and, you know, polished down, yeah, it's just gonna have that. I always wanted a home with polished concrete floors. Ooh, but then I remember how much I hate having tile floors, because it's actually hard on your joints walking on it all the time. And the difference between having like slightly springy wood floors and having concrete floors or tile is palpable over time. It's palpable. So I'm good. You're gonna leaf blow your walls. Yeah, get a hairdryer and hair dry your walls. Your concrete walls. You hate carpet floors? Me too. I like having rugs, but I can't stand having a carpet, because at least with the rug you can pick it up, roll it up. If you want to bring it somewhere, you can send it to a place to be cleaned professionally, or you can just bring it outside and bang the rug a bunch, you know, and do a lot to get material out of it, right? Pretty good. But with carpet you can't, and you're just stuck with it, and it's awful. If I start cleaning hardwood floors, just clean them, dog. Just clean them. I do have a steam cleaner, but I try to, you know, you have to be careful. If you have real hardwood or fake or whatever, you have to look up what temperatures are okay with what you've got. Because when people are steam cleaning, sometimes they heat things up too much and they warp, and then they have way more issue. So, yeah. Have you seen the waxed concrete walls they do in Adobe homes? I have. I actually kind of like the way they look. Yeah. You hate the fake vinyl wood floors people get? I like them, actually. I like them. I don't like the way they look a lot of the time. Like, the nicer ones can look nice, but, you know, the typical ones don't look so great. But I think for cleaning them, they're really nice. They're really, really, really nice. But yeah, wood floors are the best, man. Wood floors forever. Wood floors with a rug on top that you can replace, you can pick up and clean, you know, all that shit. He didn't want to do yours. Sometimes he's delayed. But I feel like this is too long of a delay. You might have actually been over the character limit. Now that I'm looking at it. Either that or the SSML is fucked up. Let me look. Let me see. Did it get your request? It got your request. It may have been too long, is my guess. One of the next upgrades to your house is replacing all the flooring with actual wood floors, including bedrooms. Ooh. Yeah, it's nice because you can properly steam them. So why would you need a steam cleaner for your hardwood floors? Just maintain. You don't need to do such a deep clean. Seems excessive. Are we cleaning up a hoarder's house or something? Occasionally you should. So the thing is, you don't need to buy a steam cleaner for this. You can like borrow or whatever. But if you just regularly clean to maintain. Oh, what is his problem? Why is he not doing it? It's receiving your... Hold on. It's receiving it. The alerts are being received. Let me try it myself. Let me try it myself. And see if it'll do it with the command, maybe. Hold on, let me try something. Thank you for the raid. Let me see. I'll turn this one on. Interesting. Okay, let me close it and restart it. See if that fixes it. We will see. We will see. It's connected to OBS. It's connected to the chat. It's pulling in requests. It did see them before. Okay, well, it's been reopened. There you go. There you go. There you go. I don't know why it's so fucked up. You said if you add pine sol and dawn, you get a very strong cleaner. Yeah,
Working
agreed.
retail has made me realize just how low standards people have on maintaining cleanliness. We also lack so many cleaning supplies that it's unbelievable how hard it is to find a broom. I wouldn't even mind a broken one.
You know? I think, oh, see, that one worked. That one worked. I think, dare I say, brooms are out of style. I don't think people sweep their houses and sweep their floors. I think everyone Swiffers everything.
Did this work?
That worked. That worked. Ta-da! I genuinely think, like when I go to a lot of people's homes, I feel like they don't just use a broom all the time and sweep. And I don't know why. It's all Roombas now. Roombas, but also, yeah, Swiffering and all that. You guys are thinking about the Swiffer wet jet. That's what you guys are thinking about. But no, people used to dry Swiffer all the time. And they used to do that because they would perceive that it would kick up less dust than sweeping, which I think is true, but I don't know how much it matters. I don't know. But I get like bits of cat hair, clumps everywhere. I don't need to vacuum every little thing. I can just sweep it with a broom, right? Like, I don't know. You feel like Swiffers just move the dirt around? Which is no different than sweeping. The problem is people think it picks it up all the way. And they're like, because they see something on the little, you should use the reusable ones, but those little disposable ones, the sheets that go on the bottom of it, they see like a dirt on it and they're like, oh my God, look at how much it picked up. That's so crazy. But if you treat your Swiffer like a broom, I guess it's the same, right? I would think. I don't know. Yeah, Oshie, I think the redeem version is still broken. It just doesn't accept it for some reason. There's Roombas now that have little robot arms that can put away shoes and shit. Really? You know, what we need is we need Roombas that can go around and pick up children's toys and animal toys and put them in bins. That's what we need, but it'd be hard for it to
This
discern.
is a haiku. It is not like the others. This haiku is mine. Combo.
Sweeping is a bit intensive. Why not vacuuming? Sweeping is not intensive. Unless you are disabled and you have like a really good reason to tell me sweeping is hard for you. Sweeping is not intensive. It's really, really physically easy. You know, outliers notwithstanding. You feel a dry or damp microfiber cloth is enough? Yeah, buy the dry Swiffer thing for a tool and then just attach a cloth to it. Just shove that bitch in there and you know, keep doing it. I don't know. Sweeping is quick though. You sweep underneath the counters and then vacuum it all up. Yeah. I think I don't know. I feel like there's so many tools on the market, so many cleaners on the market. But I watch all these professional cleaning channels and everyone's like, "Nah, just dish soap, bro. Just sweep, dog." They're like sweep and then every now and then occasionally you pull out like the steam cleaner, you do your floors thoroughly or whatever. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, isn't it insane how they've tricked everyone into thinking that you need all this stuff? I don't know, man. It's just so much marketing for so many years, right? Some of these tools are good, but if you just have a broom, a mop, a vacuum, you're chilling. You're just chilling. No, I don't have a Dyson vacuum. I have a really good Shark one. Yeah, Dawn dish soap is insane with the shit it can do. Dish soap is like unmatched. Completely unmatched, man. You want to get those brushes that are attached to power drills? They make these cleaning devices that are like on a telescoping thing. And it's a, you know, brush, a spin brush just on a pole. And a lot of people are buying those recently off of like Amazon and using them to clean their bathrooms. Which I think is good. But I don't know. I feel like you don't need it. But I'd rather buy a fancy cleaning tool than like little cleaning products, you know, cleaners and stuff, because I just feel like you don't need it. You just don't need it. Not gonna lie, Dyson kind of blows. They have some products that are good, but I don't know. I feel like this is the nature, not just Dyson, but the nature of any company where a lot of people get their little like stick vacuums from. They're just going to, no matter how good your stick vacuum is, that shit's going to die in like 2 years, 3 years. It's going to die. You need like a giant canister vacuum, or like the old-fashioned ones with a bag. You need something like that. I had this vacuum that was in my household since like, wow, I don't even know when. I don't know. The vacuum was from the 80s. It was from the 80s, and somehow we got it. I think we had it starting in the early 90s. Someone else's, like a family member's old vacuum or something like that. And it was one of those ones that had like the chrome metal-looking flat square bottom, and then it had a bag, right? It was just a bag, and it just blew air into the bag. Air just seeped out. And that shit was so good. And we used that thing for forever. Yeah, I don't know if it actually was a Hoover, though. It was a different brand. But it was really good. That thing lasted forever. It was incredible. Eventually it was beyond repair. And we had like a whole funeral for it. Yeah, it was a Kirby. Yeah, that's what it was. It was so good. And it was able to be repaired, but we gave it to someone who was going to repair it and use it themselves. And then we got this big like shop vac. And that thing, oh, you don't need anything else. This giant canister that you wheel around. And then you have your big hose that you hold, and you do have to bend, you know, and vacuum with that thing. But holy fuck, that was the greatest vacuum ever. That big shop vac, indestructible. You could vacuum up liquids with it. Everything. Everything. I loved that vacuum. But my mother has it, so I don't have it. My mom's got the shop vac. Yeah, like a big orange one. Ours was black, but it was cool. It suck up the whole carpet. It had a couple of strengths that you could set it to. If you set it to like bigger strength, it would literally lift the carpet off the floor, yeah. But man, I love that thing. Love that thing. Right now I have a regular Shark vacuum. That thing is really good. Really good. I bought one of the slightly nicer ones. It gets everything. Everything. You sweep up a little, you vacuum with that. It's all you need. All you need. And then every now and then, like every month, every other month, I go around, depending on like how much abuse the floors have gotten, and I just steam clean. Boom. You know, like battery vacuums? No, yeah, me neither, me neither. Everything I have is with cord. Cordless, I feel like those lightweight cordless ones are just, I don't know, they're destined to die. They're destined to die within like 2-3 years. They're terrible. They're just terrible. I don't know. You'll use cordless for your car. They have their uses, and I think it's okay to have one if you have like kids, pets, you want to like pick stuff up occasionally. You just have to know you're going to have to replace it. You know, they're not like a 10-year product. Some of them might last, but you know, if you're using yours constantly and you're picking up hair and shit, nah. No. If you have a multi-story house, they're great. Tell me about it. I used to drag my vacuum up and down stairs all the time. Oh my god. Thing is so unwieldy, but you know, you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. Yeah, you can replace the battery. You always can, but it's I think they make it purposefully not easy to do, so that you'll buy a new one, is my guess. Gas station, air pump stations typically also have a vacuum. Oh yeah. You can go detail your car at the gas station if they have the little vacuum there. Oh, it's so good. You can do that, plus like just spray clean that shit and full detail your car would be fine. And you don't need to own anything for it. Your aunt has had the same vacuum for when you were a child, and now you're in your 20s and still going strong. Yeah, right. Like a lot of the old ones were really, really, really nice. They're really good. I don't know. Love me vacuum. You have a fantastic Dyson cordless. A lot of people have said like certain Dyson products are really bad, but for cordless vacuums, they're like the best. So I don't know, but personally, I just have one with a cord and deal with it. I just do. Thank you for the Prime. I just do. Old appliances lasted forever. Yeah, I'm currently at odds with my dishwasher. It has decided to stop functioning well. It still functions, but I feel like it keeps leaving residue on everything. It doesn't like rinse properly. And I've done what I can to clean it, thinking like maybe the water flow is just bad or whatever. It's just having issues, and it's looking like it needs to be replaced, is what I've been told. So I'm like in the market for a good dishwasher. No, it's not a detergent issue. Trust me, I've tried everything. I've tried everything. Yeah, it's the pump or something. But the one that I have, it's not easy to replace the pump. It's really, really, really difficult, and I think it's purposefully difficult, and it would cost me just as much as just buying a new one. so I'm like, what I'll do is I'll find someone who's willing to do that and take it and do it themselves, who needs it and is willing to do that part themselves. I'll just give it to them, and then I'll just throw a new one in. No, I'm not getting one from LG. I feel like LG products have gone down the shitter. I don't know. I don't know, man. I keep hearing Bosch and Miele are the ones. Miele appliances, I remember one of my aunts got was it an oven? It was an oven, and she was singing its praises, and she's had it for I don't know, like 10 years. And she was like, I'm never using any other product ever again. I'm never going to any company ever again. I'm just getting this one. And I was like, is it that good? And then like 5 years later, she was like, I'm still not using anything else. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll go with that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I said hand washing dishes is the way. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing to keep them good. I used to always hand wash stuff. I would like to not do that because I am constantly cleaning cat bowls along with my own. I'm good. Are dishwashers worth it? They always fail eventually. You're never that good to begin with. They save me regular time, therefore, yes. For me personally, yes. And yes, always fail eventually, but in the past, I've had ones that have lasted like 10 years. So I'm fine with that. You know, I'm chilling with that. LG products peaked with the chocolate phone. They used to hire K-pop groups to make songs about it and dance with the phone. You know, they did that with Girls' Generation and FX. They made them make entire songs and hold the phone while performing to advertise the LG chocolate. Fun fact. That was from back in the day. I never had one of those phones. I never did. You don't remember Chocolate Love? Hold on. They made 2 versions of the same song. It was called Chocolate Love. Let me see if I can find this the picture of them holding the phones. They're like posing for their cover for the single. Look, they're holding the LG chocolate in their hands. And they did an entire song and music video. And then FX did one too. It was like a group from the same company. So I guess they got a brand deal for the whole company. This one fucked, man. They got the bad bitch version of the song. So Girls' Generation had like the white outfits, and then FX had this. Look, they're all holding the phone. Do you see it? They're all holding a little rectangle. Victoria in the middle, she's holding it to her lips. She's like, shh, with the phone. Shh. They're all like trying to pose cool with the phone. It looks kind of stupid. But it kind of worked. Yeah, they released an entire song about the LG chocolate. That was how LG like promoted their phone back in the day. It was a good phone. It was. I know some people that had it. Yeah, Crystal did look cunty. Can you do a photo like that? But it's you in every model and outfit you own, and you're holding cheeky soap. Wait, someone draw it. Someone draw it. With the cunty posing. Oh, did you guys know they have a new flavor? Did I show you? They have a new one. Let me get it. Look. Sorry, it's full screen. It's called Bahami Mommy. It's called... So I dragged the webpage in. It's called Bahami Mommy. Woo! It's blue. It's blue flavored. It's a sweet blend of tropical fruits. It's new. It's new. It smells real nice. It smells real nice. I like this one a lot. But yeah, they have a new one. It's a name, yeah. Bahami Mommy is so good. Does it taste like tropical? Tropical. You just got your starter kit. Yeah, see what you like, and then if that description sounds like something you would like, get it later. Go through what you've got. But yeah. Is that fucking blue? Yeah, it's blue. They made a blue flavor. Do they ship to EU? Pretty sure they do. I just don't know what the pricing is like to ship. Pretty much every company right now, before someone complains about shipping, I'm just going to say it. Pretty much every company right now cannot help you in making shipping cheaper. Globally, shipping is fucked. Okay, the shipping industry, exporting, importing anything to and from the US is just fucked, and no one can help you, no one can save you but your country, unfortunately, and they don't want to, so you're stuck. I'm talking about everybody. Yeah, it's basically been like that since COVID. Your shipping was reasonable, like 15. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. It depends on where you are. But yeah, no, they don't give up. They do still ship. It's just, whatever your country says it's gonna cost. Same thing with merch, with the VTuber merch, Some people will pay not too much from shipping, and then some people will pay a lot, and it depends on, customs fees and stuff. I know if you're in Canada, everyone keeps, this is a Canadian thing. Everyone who got merch from me and is in Canada, they ordered merch, they paid for shipping, that's all fine. And then sometime later, Canada hits them with a bill and is like, here's your customs fee. And we've had some people confused and been like, did you not include this in the shipping? It's never included. It's just a Canadian thing. They make you pay your own customs fee. So we can't include it. That's something that they bill you for. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but that's how things are right now. Yeah, you say Europe is like that. It depends on the country, but some of them, yeah, the duties and everything, they do hit you with that bill. And I can't help you, unfortunately. Sucks. But we make sure that through us to at least cover the cost of the merch and then the cost of what it costs us to ship to you. So the shipping is covered. But yeah, the duties are nuts. Nuts sometimes. Sometimes they're not so bad. It just depends on when you bought stuff. Some of the shadier companies were giving the wrong tariff codes to avoid the fees. I noticed. Yeah, some people are like, oh, but I didn't get hit with a bill from so-and-so or this person. Yeah, well, people were finding ways around that are very illegal, so I don't play around with that, is all I'm saying. All right. Any porters for our good son? There are third-party companies you could have them ship it to. And then you pay them to basically, they order in a bunch of stuff. It takes longer, but they order in a bunch of stuff in bulk, package it all together, and then send one package over the border, which lets them pay less in some of that stuff. And it's not exactly smuggling, no. They do it in a legal way. But it just takes longer. So there are ways you can import stuff like that and pay a little less if you're willing to wait. That is the thing. For some companies, it depends, but there are reputable companies that will do this. So that's always an option. But, you risk that time spent, as long as you're okay with that. And that was another reason why I wanted to have my merch be stuff that ships pretty quickly, either as soon as you order it or like within a week or two. Because I know some people wanted to do certain things with importing. And I was like, if that's already going to take a long time. And then they also, if I have stuff on pre-order and it takes a while, that's just going to suck so bad. They're going to get it over a year later. So, yeah. I hope that helps at least a bit. That's the best I can do, really, is, cut down those times. So if you do something like that to import it for yourself, it's the lowest amount of time possible, at least. But, yeah. One time you'd ordered a jacket, they just written eagle on the customs declaration form, which was the jacket's model name, but very concerning to the customs agent. What are you importing? An eagle? One eagle, please. Oh, it's so descriptive. That's like a surefire way to get your package cracked into so they can like see what it is, you know? I just say a jacket. A jacket. I don't know. I don't know, man. Ooh, your mom has an account with a company that acts as a P.O. box in Niagara, so you can just take a 30-minute trip over the border and save some fees. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. So what some people do is they have services where they pick that up for you. And you basically send it to their address, their P.O. box. And you put your name on it. So when they get something from your name, they know what it is, they know the approximate weight, they check to make sure it's correct, they bring it back over, and then they send it to you. It's one way to do it. It's an interesting world we're living in right now, but yeah, shipping's kind of fricked up everywhere. Kind of fricked up. Now, it's not smuggling if you're honest about what's in the package. Smuggling, actual smuggling, is going over the border in a car, and they're like, do you have anything in your car? And you're like, no, but then under the floor mats you have a bunch of illegal shit. Or things they're not supposed to have, or things that you haven't talked about, you know? That's smuggling, okay? But if you have a box with merchandise in it, and they're like, what are you bringing over the border? And you're like, this box with merchandise, sir. You can check it if you want. And they're like, okay, and you declare it. That's not smuggling. Not at all. You're like, oh, some anime girl figurines. You know, really depends. It really depends. I don't know. There are a lot of ways to get around stuff legally, nicely. Just get around paying some of the high fees, because then you're not using a shipping company to bring it in, like sending it on a truck or on a plane or whatever. So the way the tax is different. But, I don't know. If you just wear all the merch in. Yeah. If all of your merch is apparel, you fly into the country, put it on your body in layers, and then fly out, you'll be fine. Yep. That's the way to go. It's perfect. It's perfect. Oh my god. You suspect Matank is a P.O. box now? I'm not gonna talk about her secrets. But she doesn't need to worry about that. She doesn't need to worry about that at all. Not one bit. But also, I could just send stuff to her. Like, as a friend. I can just send her shit. You know? And she's fine. She has that little advantage. So, you know, is what it is. I can just buy her stuff and send it to her. and just cover it, and then I'll be like, if I see you, buy me dinner, you know? Like, we just do it like that. That way I'm legally getting her a gift. Easy. Very easy. I need to go visit her, though. At some point, I'm gonna go visit her. Soon. Not quite yet, but soon. You flew over to France for a day to check out some stuff, buy minerals, like pretty rocks, and then went back with no extra toll or fees at the airport. Yeah. Well, it depends on where you're coming and going from. You know? I think it's a lot easier on people in the US right now, because a lot of things are made domestic that people are currently needing. Or their domestic options when it comes to, like, merchandise I'm talking about, not, like, daily stuff, but all the merchandise, all the little bits and bobs, whatever. It hasn't been too bad, and we don't have, like, these extra duties taxes. We have some other shit, but it's been okay. But then when you're outside of the US and you're buying from things that are on a US-based store, that's when you get hit with all that shit. I don't know. We'll see. Things are always changing over time, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. Just don't put a computer chip in anything. I know. There are some really interesting little bits of merch that I was looking at. Some things that have like lights, some things that need a battery, you know, all these little things. I was just considering a lot of stuff. And as I was looking at it, I was like, I don't want to do anything right now that in any way has any technology in it, because I feel like this is just a ticking time bomb. This is just a way to send something to someone and then that person gets hit with a bill from their country that's like, oh, this has technology involved. Pay 200% of the item's price to us now, you know? So I'm just trying to avoid that. I'll stick to the usual stuff as best I can. I'm not going to have anything if I'm doing a figure, right? I'm not going to have like light up bits and need for wiring or any of that stuff. You know, I just, no. It's not worth it. Even as something as simple as just some lights, battery powered lights, even that, having that included, some countries are just like, oh, it has a slot for a battery. Are you sending a battery with it? Well, now we have to check every single one, and then they start opening everything, and you know. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, mecha model kit with LED eyes. Yeah, I know Zen had an issue with that when she was doing her figure and she had some light up bits and the shipping got delayed because the company was suddenly hit with all this extra stuff that needed to happen to be able to ship the batteries. They had like a problem with all of that, so they had to redo some things to be able to get the item out, because shipping an item with a battery was just, it seemed like it was going to be simple, and then once they started sending it, they started getting stuff sent back. And they were like, wait, what's happening? And it was like some new rule that, like, I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. Absolutely insane. Yeah, that's why batteries aren't included in most stuff. I mean, it is genuinely unsafe to be shipping stuff with batteries in them all the time. If those people are not specifically sending them a certain way and doing the right shit and, you know, whatever. But still. Yeah, it's all the lithium stuff, mostly. You got 100% tax on Vive tracker straps before? On the straps? Really? That's kind of crazy. Not even the tracker itself, just the strap. It's insane. Is the figure gonna have a paintless version so hobbyists can paint it themselves? Probably not, no. No, it's gonna be a completed thing. I thought about that, but that's like a... Basically, it becomes a separate product. And every time something is different, it's a new SKU, it's a new code. And then it means you have to order the minimum amount of those. So let's say if I wanted to sell a figure, I have to order 100 and I have to pay for 100 and then hope that they sell. If I wanted to get an unpainted one, even if it's the same product, it's still technically a different product, quote unquote. So I'd need to have 200. I need to have 100 unpainted and 100 painted. Right? And then it's too much. So I did TLDR, I did consider it. I thought it'd be cool. But with changing up things, versions of the price, I also wanted to have one with like a cool base and one with the normal base and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it becomes a huge money sink that I can't really be affording to just do, because you know, if you're not careful with that stuff, then you are opening yourself up to just spending so much money to hold a bunch of stock. And I think things, while they will eventually sell, I'm not in a financial position to just like throw money at a million merch items and let them sit there and go, oh, I'll get the money back eventually. That's fine. I don't have anything to pay for, you know. I absolutely do. So, yep, TLDR, not easy for me to do. Not very easy. But I'm hoping that people are interested in the figure and get it, because if it does sell, then that just means I go make another one with like a different outfit or something, right? If it sells well, then I'll do that. If not too many people are interested, then that's it. Right? Then I just hold that one. I go, oh, okay, well, when they're done, you know? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so, and I've never done a figure of any sort, even like a chibi one or a little thing at all. So it'll be a test run. It'll be a test run. If you're 30, are you considered millennial? I think you're like the youngest millennial. Yeah. Need the figure for your shrine. It's gonna be really good. There's the hand for it right there on the bottom right, the gauntlet. Ooh. It's gonna be really good. I already have the like all the visuals of it that I've seen. It's looking real nice. It's looking real good. Anime figures for VTubers tend to sell really well. Not always. Actually, you'd be surprised. Some people, yes. Some people, no. And some people you would think their figure would sell really well because they're like a big creator, but they don't actually have a lot of sales on the figure for some reason. And then there are other people who are much smaller brands who do sell a bunch of figures of, you know, themselves, their character. So it's hard to judge. It's hard to know if you will be one or the other in the middle or you know, whatever. Like, you don't know until you try. So some are priced out of it. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Well, you know, it also depends. If you have a younger audience, you have a huge audience, but they're younger, they tend to not buy figures because of, like you said, you get priced out. Because they're not the types to have like a stable-ish job, save up a little bit to be able to buy that one nice thing. They just cannot do that. So that community won't buy them, you know, which is a little scary, but you know, that's how it is. So it just depends on who you got. Depends on who you got. So do you think Gen Z starts at either 96 or 98? My personal thought is that it starts at 96 because someone born in 98 would barely remember even the early 2000s. But that's just me. That's just me. And a lot of what the hallmarks of millennials are remembering and experiencing a world before internet and cell phones were really common. And I feel like if you were born in 98, you only experienced that when you were incredibly little and you probably don't remember much of it. And then when those things were coming out, you were too young to really be using them much. So I feel like 98 is a little too late to be saying it's millennial. I feel like 97 and beyond is millennial. Maybe even 96. But yeah. You know, he said, luckily your community is mostly depressed millennials that will spend $400 just to feel a flicker of joy. We have a wide range. We have a wide range here. But it is a good number of them. It's true. It's true. So 96 is generally considered the last year of millennials. Yeah, I think here's what I think personally. If you were born between 95 and like 98, it's now subjective, or it's case by case. If you're between those two and you remember using Windows 95 a lot, you remember using phones with the cord on the wall a lot, you remember dial-up, you remember playing video games on Channel 3, okay, you remember a lot of that stuff. They always use 9/11. They say if you remember where you were on 9/11, all of these things. But I say you have closer to the millennial experience, at least. And I don't mean vaguely remember. I don't mean like you remember this once or twice. And you're like, yeah, I was aware of that when I was 2. You know, we're not saying that. I'm saying like you remember standing up and going and typing shit into the computer and being like, hold on, Mom, get off the phone. I need to use the internet. You know, you remember taking your encyclopedia, your Encarta disc, and throwing it into the computer to do a report on something because you needed references. Okay, if you remember all that stuff very well, and doing it a lot, but I'd say you probably identify more with millennials, regardless of when you were born, exact year, just like if that was your experience, you know, then you're fine. That's how I feel. And then if those things are mild memories, but not really, or you didn't do a lot of that, or you just don't remember it, then I'd say you're probably more in tune with Gen Z, you know? But then also, like, did you even own a computer? Back then, a lot of people didn't even own computers. They weren't even popular. So, you know, it's kind of hard to figure all that out. It's too subjective. Yeah. Oh, man. Back in the good old days. Back in the good old days. If you remember the sound, that hissing whine sound when you turned on your TV before the TV static showed up. Oof. Young adults would show you Warcraft 1 gameplay and you go bonkers. Warcraft was so good. None of them were as good as 3, though. Warcraft 3 was incredible. It was amazing, amazing. The best. Simply the best. Oh, the old noisy printers. Yeah. Yeah. You use dial-up to look up info about Bomberman 64 thinking, is this worth it? I remember getting magazines. I remember going to stores in person, like physical, you know, to talk to people and be like, is it good? You played Frozen Throne for so long, isn't funny? Dude, the real ones remember playing Icewind Dale on the PC, okay? The real ones played Baldur's Gate 2 and Icewind Dale and Warcraft. And Fallout 1 and 2. I was thinking about Fallout 2 the other day. How much I love that game.
On the topic of old noises, my bathroom door has a hinge that squeaks and it sounds like the O noise from ICQ. Every time I have to pee, I get mentally transported back to the 1990s.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember that sound. I didn't use ICQ that much.
What about Schoolhouse Rock?
Schoolhouse Rock was okay. I didn't like it. I remember it very well. I didn't like it, though. I remember being like, why do we need stupid songs? Why can't we just read stuff? And I remember feeling like songs were like newfangled ways of learning. I mean, you have nursery rhymes for kids, but like I remember thinking that like learning about grammar and stuff in the form of song, I was like, that's stupid. Why are we doing this? And then that's just like a boomer mentality that other people instilled in me. Because nowadays it's just iPad kids listening to song after song after song to learn about literally everything. Like everything is taught in the form of song. And it's just gotten like worse and worse over time because kids love it. It'll never end, man. It'll never end. God. OG EverQuest player? Ooh. What is this? You said peeing was better in the 90s. Elaborate? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean peeing was better? You just said, no, yep. You don't want to? Well, you're wrong. Until you tell me why, you're wrong. Just being dumb. Exactly. Exactly. Retro pissers. We should just make shit up to confuse all the young people. Be like, dude, you would not believe what the toilets used to be like. Just make them even more depressed, all the Gen Z and below. Make them even more depressed by telling them that like everything was better, down to the toilets. Actually, hot take, I think some of the toilets, some of the older ones did flush better. But they were like really inefficient with water usage, so you know. What is this question you said? How many people do you think got into natural products because they didn't recognize the ingredients on the shampoo bottle they read on the toilet? You created this like imagery of a person sitting on a toilet reading it that I feel like we didn't need for that question. But I'll still answer the question. Yeah, I think people are afraid of names of chemicals. I think people are so afraid of them, and I cannot stand when people say chemicals bad, because then you know that they didn't pass like basic high school chemistry. You know.
The old jet-powered ones could
scary.
clear a foot long in less than a second. Good times.
Oh, yeah. You remember the ones that used to sound like that, though? Like an actual jet engine? I don't know. I really like skincare, right? So I'm used to like reading the back of a bottle and being like, what is this? What is that? And looking it up on the spot. Trying to see what it is. But people are like so afraid of the names of every chemical, and I'm like, everything in this world is a chemical, right? I feel like a lot of us know this. It's a I don't know, well, not literally chemical, but like everything is this. Everything has some sort of structure to it, but when it has a name that they don't know, they just freak out. They just freak the fuck out. I don't know. Yeah, afraid of water, afraid of air. When you talk about breaking something down, they're like, what do you mean breaking something down or using chemicals? That's bad. And I'm like, what do you think your fucking, your stomach does? Like, oh, enzymes, don't use them, they're scary. They're enzymes in your body, you stupid idiot. I don't know, man. Natural things aren't good? No, not at all. I don't know, man. I feel like this has been the case for a while, though, right? This isn't like a boomer take. This isn't a new thing. People have always been afraid of anything that has a chemical name. I feel like in the 50s, 60s, we had this kind of attitude in the world where science was cool and we were making cool new things, right?
You know what occurs naturally? Arsenic and lead. Checkmate homeopaths.
It's true. But, you know, things were fine. And then 80s, 90s, people start realizing asbestos is bad. This thing's bad. That thing's bad. There's a lot of old wartime stuff that they're now figuring out, you know, chemical-wise. That's bad. The nuclear scares, etc. And I think that plus people freaking out, for good reason, about global warming afterward, I feel like those things kind of all happening in succession just bred this perfect storm for people to be afraid of like anything scientific ever, you know? Like we went from like before, I think pre-Cold War, everyone was like, dude, science is so cool. And we were very like pro-science for a lot of countries because they were like, that's how we're gonna, like, think of the space race and all that. Everyone's like, we're gonna be ahead of everyone because of science. It's gonna be so cool. And then there was this huge flip, and now it's the opposite. People are like, if you're not eating dirt and living off the land, you're dying. I don't know, man. What a flip. What a flip. Eggs go back and forth between being good for you or not. Uh-huh. Right now, everyone's afraid of red meat. Right now, everyone tells you if you eat red meat, you're gonna, like, get cancer and die. They think you should only eat, like, dark leafy greens, and there are people acting like celery is crunchy water and has nothing in it. They're acting like it has zero value. Even things that are just fibrous, like, maybe they don't have a lot of nutritional value, but they're fibrous and there's still reason to eat them. People will be like, well, there aren't a lot of vitamins, so it's bad. And I'm like, oh, I'm going crazy. Celery is good. What? I saw this whole Twitter thread, like maybe a month ago, of someone listing out like vegetables and tier listing them basically, and talking about like what was good and bad. And they were trying to say that celery was like one of the least useful ones. They're like, it's basically just water. It doesn't really have much to it. And I was like, are you fucking crazy? What? What? It does have vitamin content, yeah. And yeah, like roughage is just not a concept for people, maybe. I don't know. Not people. I mean, like some people, right? Like I don't know. And they were like, it's one of those people who's like, you should only eat avocados and kale, right? It's one of those superfoods. It was just crazy. I was going insane reading
Your
it.
water is natural, but that doesn't make getting water poisoning any more fun. Faction redeems chat.
I give it the bits. I don't know. People are also way too afraid of potatoes. Yeah, people are acting like potatoes are one of the things that are going to make them the fattest. Potatoes are so good for you. Yes, they're starchy. Yes. But they have so much vitamin and mineral content in them. They're so good for you. The problem is that people keep frying them. People just drown them in butter and oil and all this stuff. Just eat them with less on them. Right? Eat them with less of this other shit. But they're so good for you in general. You know? And I don't know. Eat them raw. No. I mean, something that I think people should get into doing, and this is a thing that I did a lot in Korea and I got used to. Now, I love a potato that's like mashed and filled with butter and, you know, everything. Yeah. But we used to constantly bake potatoes by just wrapping them, sweet potatoes as well. Sweet potatoes are like so fucking popular. Just eat like this in Korea. Wrap it in foil, throw it into a campfire, leave it for a while, take it out, right? And then you just sit there and you just peel it and eat it, but you also eat the skin, everything. You just eat it like that and you don't put anything on it but a tiny bit of salt. Nothing on it.
A medium-sized potato contains 15% of your daily allowance of potassium. The more you know.
Well, sweet potatoes just eating like that like are fine. Even regular potatoes. I think a russet is a little boring to eat like that, but it's not bad. But you just get used to it. You put a little salt in. I don't know. When you have them with so much butter all the time, you get too used to that. But if you can just get your body not used to that and stop being so American for a second, you know, stop putting so much butter on everything. There are a lot of potato varieties that are really good like that. And I got used to doing that. And then, I don't know, I like potatoes both ways now. I was just like, oh, okay, you know, like, I'll just eat them like this. And there's like nothing really inherently bad about them when you eat them like that, you know? They're good. But I think the problem is people keep eating them in like these fried forms. They're very oily, buttery, you know, for whatever reason, for whatever, you know, whatever method you're using to make them. And I think you just do yourself a disservice. Like you just made that healthy thing unhealthy when you didn't need to, you know? I don't know, man. Just eat food. Just eat food. Start an argument between sweet potatoes and yams. Oh, yams are so good. Yams are like the backbone of a lot of food. They're actually the backbone of a lot of African food, especially because you can grow them in pretty terrible soil, you know, everywhere.
Fried Mars bars.
Ew. Yams are so good. There are a lot of dishes you can make out of like pounded up yam. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. It's a dish I've eaten a lot of. What is the name? My friend's mom used to make it. You basically pound up yam almost like mochi into like a paste. And we would eat it with our hands. You would just like, she would flavor it with different spices, but what was the name of it? Fufu is the dumpling version of that. There's another name. Fufu, you're thinking of the dumpling type. I'm not talking about fufu specifically though. It's another African dish though.
The average American contains more carbon-13 than people from elsewhere in the world because they love to slam back that sweet corn. The more you know.
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's so fucking true. God, what was the name of this? It's pounded yam, but it's not fufu. Hold on. Okay, the Yoruba word for it is Iyan, but Iyan, my friends did not speak Yoruba. They spoke Igbo. What do they call this in Igbo? Nigerian pounded yam, Igbo. Oh my god, yeah, ukaraji. Ukaraji. Oh, that's what it's called. The shit was so good. It was so good. It's like yam mochi. And she would make all sorts of curries and things on the side. And we would just eat that. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was great. It basically was like mochi, but just made out of yam instead. And it looks the same because it's like this white root. Oh, it was nice. So in Nigeria they speak a few different languages, and if you're a little bit northern in certain coastal areas, a lot of them speak Igbo, and that's kind of where my friend's family was from, was the Igbo speaking region. And one thing that my friend's parents would always make was like just specifically this one dish, right, where they do pounded yam and then make curry and things like that on the side, and we'd eat that, and it was so fucking good. They also made a lot of yam stews and stuff, and I just remember eating so much. Some of it was so deathly spicy too, but it's so good. It was so delicious, man. I need to look up and see how I can make some of these things, because they were insanely good. But no, it's not the Ethiopian thing. It was the Nigerian food. My god. My god, it was so good. I don't know. I love yams, though. I got turned into, like, a yam truther after eating a lot of this food, and I'm just realizing, like, how versatile, how good they are. And now I'm also one of those people where when folks try to say yams and sweet potato are the same, I get, like, a little, just internally, on the inside, I get a little upset. Because I'm like, this person has not felt the joys of the yam, okay? they don't understand the joys and beauty of the yam. They just know about like the standard sweet potato, which is also good. But one day they'll learn. I've just found that yams, like true yams, are not really that popular in the US, I feel. I don't know why. You think sweet potatoes are better? I like both. Depends on what you're doing with them. I like sweet potatoes normally, like just roasted. I don't really like people keep doing like that dessert type thing where they put sugar and cinnamon on them and bake them, and they make like those candied, they call them candied yams, but they're not yams. Candied sweet potato. And they do it around fall, especially around like Thanksgiving time. So people put marshmallows on them. I think that's cute, but I think it's kind of disgusting. It's too much. As long as you can control it, you just do a little bit. I think it's fine. You call it casserole. I've never seen it called casserole because it was just laid out and baked. It wasn't like mixed together like a casserole the way I've seen it. I don't know. Yeah, sweet potato pie. Depends on how they do it, but it's too much. I feel like they're already a little naturally sweet. And then I think honestly, don't do the sugar. Just put a little cinnamon on it, and you're chilling. You're doing great. But then they start putting all this sugar on top, and like I know I have a friend who would always like blowtorch it, and she would make that shit around that time, and she'd like give it to friends. She'd be like, "Oh, I made my sweet potatoes again," and I'd be like, "Hey, this is so good for one bite," and then I'm dying. It's too sweet. I don't know. I'm just not good with sweet foods though. It would always be way too much, and I'd have to tell her. I'd be like, "Girl, calm down. Girl, I can't be doing all this." You know? Yeah, we talking potatoes. We are. Yam to sweet potatoes, plantain to banana. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Your mom put diced up pecans in hers. My mother never made anything like that. We would do a fruit pie, so classic apple pie or blueberry or whatever was in season, whatever was looking good, honestly. If we were like going to a market and they were like, "Yo, these blueberries are so great," we would go, "Okay, let's take them," and then we just make a pie out of it. So we would always do like a fruit-based pie instead. My mom really likes the sweet potatoes in that kind of style, but she also is like me. She puts a little less sugar. Or I would put none, but she would put a little bit and then cinnamon. You're into Asian sweets like red bean and matcha sweets? Not really, actually. I'm okay with red bean. I don't like it that much. It's all right. I'll eat it. I don't like matcha at all. I actually kind of hate matcha. I don't know. I don't like a lot of bitter stuff. Some bitter things, but a lot of them I tend to not like. So I kind of hate matcha. And I get I get really pissed when sometimes people are like, "Oh, there's this matcha flavored thing. It's like a little Japanese snack." And you know, look, I've always been around areas where you can go and get such snacks and things. And sometimes a friend will come to the area and they're not used to such things, and it's like a cool novelty to them. And I just can't, I don't know, I like want to crawl out of my skin when I'm sitting there watching them look around an Asian bakery and they're like, "Oh my God, they have matcha." And I'm like, yes, they do. It's quite standard. Like, I don't know. Something about it really bothers me. I'm like, "Oh, but what's red bean?" I'm like, I don't know. It makes me want to just run. I just want to run and leave. I want to act like I don't know them, you know? What's ube? Why is it purple? You know? It's like a purple yam. Oh, like a sweet potato? No. I don't know, man.
I get requested to make potatoes au gratin for family events like barbecues.
It's my favorite.
I make mine by standing the slices up vertically in a spiral in a cast iron skillet so the bottom gets soft and the top is browned and crunchy.
I love doing it like that and baking it. Oh. Matcha's just green tea, right? No, it's its own variety. Good matcha isn't bitter? Yeah, but a lot of these places, when they make these snacks with it, the way they do it, the bitterness just comes out. It's not just the quality of the matcha, it's like how it's cooked, if it's something that they make into tea first and infuse, or if they're using like powder with it or whatever. The way they do it a lot of the time, the sweet gets cut through with like bitterness because of the way they cooked it out. And I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. He said, "Oh my God, they have Dubai chocolate matcha lattes here." Yeah, I can't do it, man. I don't know. I don't know. And I think the thing that always bothers me, friends of mine know that I don't share food and drinks with people. Or I'll share if it means giving you a portion of something and then you have it. I do not ever let anyone put their mouth on my drink or like use my fork or take their used fork and stab it into my food in a way where that portion that they touched is still going to be there while I'm trying to eat. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I do not do that. Okay? It was always taught to me, and this isn't like a me thing, like, oh, I'm just grossed out. No, this is ever since I was little, my mother being like, that's how you get sick. That's unsanitary. Don't do that. And it was just always instilled into me. Don't do that. Who would do that? A lot of people ask all the time. All the time. So something that I hate, this is a specific scenario, it's ultra specific, but happens all the time. Go to a little tea shop. Some friend who's not used to going to these little types of tea shops is there. And I order something and I'm usually like, "Let me get that winter melon. Let me get that winter melon," because I love winter melon. "Let me get that winter melon." Now, that's not really a very Western ingredient. So sometimes I'll be with a friend and they'll be like, "What's winter melon?" And I'm like, "It's a type of melon, pretty light, kind of related to honeydew. I like it." And then they're like, "Can I have a sip?" No. 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 You get your own, or you get a little cup, I'll pour some out for you. You don't get to put your mouth on the straw, dude. Hate that. But it's because I keep ordering winter melon, and then they're like, "I don't know what that tastes like," and I'm like, "It's kind of nothing." You know, like it's, I don't know. Go try it, dude. And I feel like that ultra specific scenarios happen so many times where people are like, "Can I try your specific winter melon drink? Give me some." Pisses me off, man. Winter melon tastes like dirt to you? I really like it. It's just a light
My
melon
brother's
flavor.
wife does that to him all the time.
Oh, yeah?
They've been married 4 years now, and I don't think I've seen him get all of anything he has ordered ever in that time frame.
I think the sharing is fine. If it's your partner, it might be a little different. You literally slam your faces together, so, like, there's not really as much concern unless you know they're actively sick, right? That's kind of, like, less bad. But even so, like, you still ask first. I don't care how close you are with someone. It could be your literal spouse. You should still ask. That's what I think, at least, you know? Not even because of germs or something, just being like, can I have some of this? And they're like, no, I really want this whole thing. I'd be like, oh, okay, you have it, you know? Not like, well, you have to because something. God said I can eat this, you know? Like, right? I'm not about to do that. When you said something so disturbing, you said, my siblings would lick my ice cream without asking. Holy fuck. Holy shit, I would kill. My siblings were always really good with not doing that to each other. But one of my brothers would always steal stuff off of my plate. He wouldn't touch like my food I was about to eat with his fork. He'd go for something that he could grab like individually and, you know, with his fork and like not touch the other stuff I was about to eat, but he'd steal stuff all the time. I'd take my food, I'd be eating it, I'd turn. He wants one more of that good thing. He just stabs a little piece, takes it for himself. I'd turn back, it's gone. He would do it all the time. But he would never like straight up lick my food. Especially like younger siblings, you have to get on them about stuff like that. Had one that would try. And I had to push him off all the time. I had to like grab his face and be like, no. He learned eventually. He did. Like he'd grab a chicken nugget. Yeah, something like individual like that. He would grab all the time. Constantly. And he'd be like, we're siblings. We can share. And I'd be like, all right. Well, then I'll just take one of yours. I would just take shit off of his plate in retaliation. Your little sister would lick cookies so you wouldn't even eat them. You did it anyway, just spite her. Ooh. Ooh. I had one of my friends had a kid. She used to never get sick. And she realized, she said to me a while back, she was like, you know, I used to think I had a really good immune system. And then I realized I just didn't get sick because I didn't have children just talking and coughing in my face and directly into my mouth constantly. And I was like, oh no. Because like kids don't fucking get it. They don't fucking get it. They go to school, come back, and then they're like, love you so much, mom. Right into your mouth.
Someone drank out of my soda drink once. Next time I planned ahead. Thanks, Ipecac.
Ew. I don't know. I can't. That's one of the things I hate most about kids. And I know they don't get it, so I'm not even mad at them individually. I just hate this scenario, you know? Children were sneezed directly into your eyeball, not think twice about it. Mm-hmm. Yep. I've taken care of so many young family members so many times where, you know, someone's home sick, there's no one to watch them, I watch them. And my God, even though they know to cough into like their elbow, whatever, they're like home and comfortable and feeling sick, so they're not in their right mind. And dude, they're just like out into the air, into your face constantly. Jesus Christ. I would get sick every time too. Every time. I think the thing I hate the most is like when kids eat with their hands. I want to die.
I used to work at a summer day camp for Boy Scouts. I'd have had to vape hand sanitizer to not get sick from that.
Yeah. Yep. I had one of my cousins when one of her kids was, he was beyond being a baby. He was a toddler at this point, but he was still eating with his hands a lot of the time. I hate watching a kid pick up food and put it in their mouth, and they get like their fingers in their mouth, and then they go back and grab more stuff, and I'm just like, the dirty kid hands. I would constantly, I'd get them in front of the sink, put them on the stool, you know, get them with their hands in the sink, washing their hands. I would never let them wash their hands alone. I'd watch them do it. I'd make them do it. And then I'd feel their hands and I go, nope, still sticky. We're doing it again. And then I'd scrub their hands. They'd feel, I'd be like, you feel how hard I'm scrubbing? See how much time I'm scrubbing for? See, I'm getting every finger. We got to do this. And I'd like teach them how to like wash their hands thoroughly. Oh my God. Yeah, like clammy kid hands. Oof. Ooh. It's the worst. Doing the full pre-surgery routine with them. Yeah. Even balling up your fingers a little bit and like rubbing your fingernails into your palm, right? Like the top side of your fingernails in a circle so that you can get like all the edges, all the cuticle. Down to that, I would teach, because I just, ugh. Shouldn't people learn that in school? Because we did. They don't teach that in school anymore. Or maybe they go over it briefly, but they don't like reinforce and check up that every kid is washing their hands properly every time. This stuff isn't reinforced by anyone, I feel like. Because I see so many kids wash their hands so improperly. So I don't know. It's gross. It's gross. What is this? Hi, GEEGA. I heard that some fans of VShojo took over the old VShojo Reddit and go make a tribute to all talent where fans can post their favorite moments and stuff. Did they? I never used to check our subreddit. I wanted a while back for us to like use it more actively and like us to actually be active on it. But I felt like it was not really gonna be something that people wanted to do very much. I felt like it was just gonna be me, probably. Like, my thought was use it the way creators use a lot of their subreddits, where they post, or the community posts things on there, and then you go through your own subreddit, like, on stream sometimes, right? And the reason why I want to do this is a lot of especially a lot of Korean creators use their own Naver accounts like this. So Naver is like a Korean social media site, but it also has areas for public posting onto your own profile, kind of like a subreddit. It's like a mix of multiple things. It's a more complete web page than just social media. It's just a bit more robust. So what you would do, a lot of Korean creators, what they would do is they would go through like the forum posts on their Naver account, on their Naver page rather, and they would go through it and see like what their community's been saying, and it would be text posts, it would be image posts, whatever, kind of a similar system. And I was like, I would love to use our VShojo subreddit for that, and then we have in common, we're looking at similar posts, so the community feels more intertwined. But it just never kicked off. It was something that I think like some people were into doing, but then we would have had to like have more moderation, have more involvement on it, and I think people didn't want to spend the time, which is completely understandable. But yeah, I always wanted to do that. But also whoever was just saying that thing, it's not that some fans of VShojo took over the old VShojo Reddit. We never owned it, I don't think. Like, I'm pretty sure this was always fan run. I don't know if anyone's accounts were made mods at any point, or admins or something, but yeah, it was just like fan modded the whole time. So it's not really like a new thing. Ogun made it. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but he was not like doing anything with it. So, you know. But I think it's nice because whether like the way some of us keep referring to ourselves is just like ex VShojo, because we still have like a lot of togetherness in as people, in our brands, in our communities, all of that. So I do like to see something kept running, because I'm not necessarily scrambling to go make like a new group with everyone with like a legal structure, whatever. I feel like that's very complicated and people just need time to figure out their shit and be indie, you know? But I still think it's good to have the community be able to stay collected a little. So yeah, I like that they're doing that. I think it's nice. I think it's very nice, because a lot of people that, you know, watch some of us watch a bunch of us, and it would be nice for people to talk about just like us there, and not just like, you know, dredging up more old shit. You know, whether it's real shit or it's drama or whatever, like it doesn't need to just be that. So if it's just posts about whatever we're doing, I think that's nice. I think that's good. I appreciate that. And I know moderating an online forum is annoying work, so thankful to the people that deal with that. When I used to be on like some game forums and stuff back in the day, oh my god, so much stupid work, so much dumb work, very annoying. A lot of work that it feels like you shouldn't have to be doing, but you do because people can't behave, you know, etc. So yeah, appreciate everyone who's working on that. I think it's nice. I don't know. You know, you guys know, like, I like Reddit in the format, in the tool, but I don't like it right now generally. Like I feel like you can't go there without everything being like political or like just world news, and everything's bot posted. It's karma farming everywhere, etc. Right? I think the site for a lot of things is kind of dead. But specified subreddits that are properly being used by real people as a forum for an interest, like they're still being used in that way and people aren't karma farming through it and all that, are still really good, I feel. Right? So stuff like this is like a proper use of it, because I also think the community is small enough that it's not out of hand. Yeah, like the mods are actually modding, which is good. You know, that's a big part of it. Some subreddits, like mods, don't really mod, or maybe they can't at the scale, you know, with how many people are posting shit. So in its current form, I think this one's good. I think it is. It's still RV shoujo, but the data up at the top, like the what's it? Wow, why can't I think of the word? You have your fave icon and then you have the name of the tab. There's a little word for that. Well, either way, it says X shoujo instead of V shoujo, which I think is cute. I like that. Banner. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, what's the name of the rectangle? Yeah, the banner just says X shoujo on it. Which is cute. Because that's the thing too. Some people are like, what should we call you guys? And I didn't want to like give people some new name to use, because then that sounds like a new company, which is not it right now, you know, like that's not what anyone's doing. So I didn't want to give that impression and put some new name or something. So I think X JoJo's cute, because then it's just referring to us exactly as we are, right? Like we were members of the group. There you go. Hi, Nello. He said a lot of the features have been broken and mobile's almost unusable for it. Yeah. It's crazy. Have they declared bankruptcy yet? I don't know. Radio silence for me. I know when they said they were kind of planning to, or they were like, they had said something to me about when they're likely to. I don't know. No clue. I received sign off that I could physically get my merch, but I've heard absolutely nothing on what I actually need to do to get it. And I don't know that anyone's going to say anything. So I'm probably going to have to email and be like, hey, can I get the address, and can I know a contact, and can I, you know, like I'm going to have to ask. Which, I mean, some stuff has been asked for, but, you know, I'm going to have to once again formally request that separately. Still don't have any data on unfulfilled orders or anything like that, which is great and wonderful. Yeah. I don't know. There's another person who's having an issue with another thing like that, where like there's something that they have sign off on, but actually getting that thing done, it's just frozen. Like radio silence, you know? So I don't know. I keep assuming that they're gonna file bankruptcy, but I have no clue. No staff left to respond. I know who is still with the company. There's some where I don't know if they've left or not, but because they didn't say anything, I assume they have. There's some people who've like taken stuff off of social media, so I'm like, okay, I guess that means that they've left, you know. And some of them are ones that I didn't really have contact with to begin with, so I'm not trying to like press them about it. I assume they're just like done with it. But I know of two people that like they're still supposed to be the contacts at the very least, so it's not like there's zero people, you know. Should you do anything on our end or wait for more info? Why would you do anything on your end? It doesn't affect you, unless you mean the orders. Yeah, okay, you said with the missing orders. I encourage you to do a chargeback if you have time, because you paid for stuff that they then told me that they have absolutely no intent to fulfill. And you paid for shipping. You gave shipping money that has not gone to the place that's supposed to ship it, so I would have to double pay to get it shipped, etc. So I think you should all do that if you can. If you're unable to, and I get some stuff, and then I don't know, like I'm gonna try to do what I can, like I said, but I'm hoping I can just get the data of what has not been shipped so I can just get it covered. And if I have to pay for it, I have to pay for it. Because like I said, I don't want any of you to get punished financially for this. That it should not happen. It should not happen at all. I'm not comfortable with that. So we'll see. But yeah, still radio silence. Is there even still a company? Yeah, I mean, unless you officially file for bankruptcy or file some paper that says a company no longer exists, then it still exists. And whoever owns it, owns it. And if they haven't sold it, then they own it. I don't know who owns what portions of what. I know some people have stayed or left or whatever. I don't know if any of those people from stepping away from a position actually gave up ownership or not either. Like all of this stuff that could have happened, or maybe, I don't know. I couldn't answer it for you at this moment in time. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people have assumed a lot of things, but unless you see like something on the legal side actually shift, you see like a registration form, you see public record of a bankruptcy, like unless you see that, then there's just no change as far as I'm aware. So yeah, I think from what I'm seeing, there's still a company. I don't think anything's been filed, or I haven't been informed. Yeah, that's all I know really. I don't know. So you said chargeback. I work in logistics. That's an evil thing to hear outside work. Well, you know, when you paid money for something and then that money was used elsewhere, and then the thing is not gonna be given to you just because someone fucked up. I mean, I think that's when it's the least evil use of the word, right? Just trauma. Yeah, I get you. I get you. And try to put chargeback with PayPal. Yeah, if you have the time, I think that's best. Because I can't guarantee you that I can offer you good recourse. Because if they don't even give me the data to know who legitimately was not sent what, then I can't just do it off of vibes. I mean, like, maybe I still could. I don't know. Imagine there were, let's say there were, it's more than this, but let's say there were 100 items that weren't sent out to people. And I get those items, but I don't know who they were sent to. If I say, okay, guys, here's an email. Forward me any orders you had that weren't sent to you. Send me forward me the email of the not the shipping, but the order confirmation. What if I had 120 people send me those? It would mean 20 people got theirs and just forwarded that, but left out the fact that it was shipped to them, right? I would have no way to verify. So I think my most vibey method, it's not really anything I could do well, but most vibey method would be to just trust people and hope, and open that up and say, okay, anyone who wasn't sent this, I know the number of how many need to be sent out. You send me your last purchase confirmation if they never sent it to you. And if the number of people that send it in is fewer than the number that I know weren't sent, you know, maybe I could still send them, and I know some would probably be fake, but I'd get a lot of legit ones too, maybe. I don't know. That's my best guess, but I think even that is like not the best idea. So yeah, that's the best I could do if I don't get that information. And even then, that's very, yeah, faith in humanity type shit. Exactly. Like, I'd have to just hope that people wouldn't lie, which isn't really a good idea. I don't know. So we'll see, but that's all I really got. I mean, if any of you see any record that they like actually file for bankruptcy or something, do let me know, because I just don't think they'd even like email me about it. I don't think they would at this point. You have not seen a Borsky ring anywhere in the wild? I don't think any of them were sent. No, I know the manufacturer. Thank you, Agent Inc. They did their job. I know they made them and sent them to the warehouse. But they were made and sent over like during and after me leaving, because that was the window that was planned. That was the window that was planned, not their fault or anything. So they arrived. And then when I looked at the sheet of like how many the warehouse says they have, or how much, you know, stock they should have, it was the same number that was fully ordered to the warehouse, which means none of them were sent out. But it's so cute. Yeah, I want people to get them. I really, really do. That was my most favorite product. Like, I sat there and I ideated exactly how I wanted that to be. So yeah, I really wanted that one to go out. But yeah, I think we have, let me look. I think it said 500 was how many they had. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, it's 500. Hope maybe lawyers could help sort stuff out, but legal stuff is always slow. Yeah, things are really slow. A lot of people have demanded a lot of answers that they don't even need in a time frame that's like impossible. But not just that. So my lawyers already helped out, and like I said, I've already gotten sign off that I am legally owed my physical merch to the numbers claimed on the sheet that they say they have in stock. So I am owed those things for sure. Now we have to see if I can physically get them, you know. But on paper, yes. On paper, yes. And I even took that instead of like certain other things here and there. I kind of like negotiated out what I wanted, and one of them was just give me the stock. So we'll see. Gonna be driving the moving truck herself. No, I had so many friends reach out and say they could help with at least grabbing stuff for now. And so that I don't even have to worry about. That's actually the easy part, is like physically grabbing it, moving it to a new center, setting up like ability to ship to people. All of the logistics side on that, I have multiple different sources I could go through to help me with that. And that, totally easy. So I've never been worried about that part of it. I just need to know who to legitimately send things to. Like that's what I actually need, you know? And if I can't get that, you know, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. Not religious, but praying for your mental health right now. Thanks. Thoughts and prayers. I mean, it's one of those scenarios like you literally can't do anything else, right? Thoughts and prayers. Hope the warehouse got paid at least. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I need a contact and all the right stuff to be able to check with them. I know someone who did grab some of their stuff. I think she talked about it. I don't remember. So if I have to get it through a friend, I can do it. But, yeah. Yeah. But I know there were already issues with some of that. Yeah, she did talk about it, right? Did she show the pictures at all? Did she show the pictures on stream? Of, like, the boxes of it? She showed them? Yes, you saw, like... you saw how... Yeah, quote-unquote organized. They basically took everything off the shelf and just, like, dumped it into, like, 1 or 2 boxes. Paper products mixed in with, like, big physical products. Things on top of other things that shouldn't have been on top of those things. A bunch of it's, like, not really sellable because it's like paper things that are bent and creased and stuff, and people won't buy that. Yeah, the standees are all fucked, right? Like the broken acrylic standees. So yeah, I don't know. Should pay someone to sort all the stuff. Yeah, I have 2 different companies that are like both offering like, oh, if you want to do this, there's a third actually, but they're all like, hey, if you want to have us receive this stuff, go through it, itemize, sort, you know, let you know what's actually here, etc. We'll let you know. So we'll see. But yeah, the condition she got stuff in, I mean, she showed me, it was not good. It was not good. I think I had some standees left. A good number of paper products. I don't know. And the thing is, I don't know who's responsible for grabbing that stuff, right? I don't know if a warehouse employee is doing that or if it's like an actual staff member from the company doing it or something, right? Maybe they just open the door and they're like, go get your stuff, right? Like I have no clue. It could be a third party. It could be neither of those. I don't personally know. So I don't know, man. But what I'm owed is my items as said on the sheet. So if they say there are 500 Boris key rings that I'm supposed to be able to get, and I should be able to get them in good condition and sell them or whatever, then that's what I'm expecting. So we'll see. We'll see. Lack of clarity even after the implosion is mind-boggling. Isn't it crazy? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I've been in scenarios legally with companies before, like pre-VTubing, pre-streaming, where I've seen people go to insane levels of malicious compliance, pettiness, or just ghosting, or yeah, lack of clarity, all this stuff. I've seen it before, so I did take all the steps I could to make sure that, like, even in worst case, I would be okay, you know? So no, like, I'm not owed 500,000, right? Like, am I owed stuff, or are there things that I never got, or blah blah blah? Absolutely yes, but there was a level to which, like, it could not have gone past a certain point. It would be impossible. So, you know. But it still doesn't change the fact that there was still a lot of loss in general. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, as much as you try to help the situation, there's still certain things that get obscured to an extent that you just can't do anything about it, right? Oh well. Oh well. Coins, the cold signed off fast. The coins, anything that's currently under the current merch, like not with them, anything that's currently under Horizons merch, that's all new stuff. And that's all stuff that is produced, held, shipped out of an entirely different place. And yeah, Horizons merch has been doing all of that. So that stuff is all completely separate from this. That's all 100% separate from this. So what I'm hoping for and what I'm dealing with right now is just old merch that was manufactured, done, whatever, pipeline through whatever VShojo system was. And I'm just hoping to get it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, TLDR right now, I know I give like a weekly update at this point. Nothing. TLDR, I have no real updates on the old stuff. If I am getting the data for it or whatever, I did poke, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm still hoping. It just sucks that even best case scenario, I still take a bunch of losses from all of this. And the silver lining would be that I get to make sure you guys don't take any losses, right? That's my best case scenario. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I think I just don't know if it will be possible. I don't know. But we do have a thank you to everyone who's already opened mod tickets in the Discord. We have a whole bunch of them. And we're just leaving them open until we have any further information. So if that hasn't moved, that's good. You know, it's good, like, that nothing's been closed. It's just there because we're waiting and we have at least your info. That part is good. But yeah, thanks if anyone's like gone through and made those tickets, because that does help us figure some stuff out. Talk about merch all the time in the Discord if y'all want to join. Yeah, I've been watching you guys. A lot of you go into Geeking Out and you post when you're opening your coins. You're posting to show if you got the gold coin. 10% of them are gold, and the rest of them are all silver. So I've been checking that chat every day to watch people like post their polls. I really love how the coaster turned out. I'm seeing like a bunch of pictures of them. Dude, I love the Boris coaster. It's so stupid, but the artist got exactly what I was saying. I was like, Moki, please, I need you to draw this. They're like, what? And I go, I need you to draw. Imagine I'm sitting at my desk. Boris standing next to me. He's like 2 feet tall. I put my mug on his head because there's no good spot for me to put my drink down. The drink sweats onto his head a little bit, and then I pick it up, and there's a ring on his head. And like, I was like, that's the coaster. And they were like, cracks fingers, bet, and then, you know, drew that shit out. Oh, it's so good. It came out so cute. I love the coaster. I love the coaster. Which is a little more absorbent. Well, I didn't want it to be a coaster that, like, it's supposed to repel it so that it doesn't get on your table. But it's not supposed to completely absorb it because then it gets moldy. Then it gets moldy and stained up, you know? So it's supposed to, like, just cover the table and then you wipe it with a napkin or, you know, whatever. Otherwise it gets gross, you know? Then it's like, you might as well just use a sponge. Put your drink on a sponge, throw it out, you know? You see a post from someone that bought 10 badges. I don't know how many of you did. I know a couple people did. I know a few did, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many. I don't know. Let me look. I don't think anyone posted any big polls like that. I've just seen a couple of pictures of people individually showing their gold ones. You did? Hell yeah. Let's go. I've gotten yours yet. Did you get a polo? Yeah, there are certain items that needed a small amount. ShamWow type beat. I'm excited for it, man. I love stuff like that. I want to do more of that. I know we've talked about doing blind boxes. I really want to do a little blind box. But the problem is, when you do a blind box, you know you have to order a minimum of items. I always complain about it. If I want one little individual figurine, they're like, okay, you gotta order 200 of those, 300, 500, 100, you know, whatever their number is. So if I want to do a blind box and I want like 8 little options, what am I gonna have to get? 200 of each of those or something? Like, you know, it gets a little crazy. So I want to do a blind box really badly, but I can only do it with stuff where I don't have to order like a billion of each item to make the box happen. It might get a little crazy. So I'm working on like what item could I put in there? What kind of gacha could I do? So we'll see. You hate them? Yeah, but I love them and I wanna put them out at like on a con table.
I'm faced with a conundrum. My fridge is full of disappointment at the moment, so I'm ordering food. Question is, do I wage war on my insides with Indian or Nashville hot chicken?
Ooh, get whatever's farther from whatever you ate last. So if you ate a bunch of chicken yesterday, then don't eat chicken today. That's how I usually do it. Whatever's least like what you ate most recently. That's what I would say. Or if you ate all red meats, then go with the chicken. Variety is always the answer. Maybe do a deal with someone who has a shop at conventions for excess merch for this. A shop for excess merch? Are you implying that other people already do that? Because they kind of don't. Friends of friends will do that stuff, but, you know. There are one or two, like, I think Purple Plum does that. Actually, Vishojo used to do that. We used Purple Plum. And they would sometimes, like, sell some of our older stuff. But I don't think it's the one you find. If I Google, I find, like, a wig shop. I don't think it was them. I don't actually know who it was. I just know that was the name. It might have been just the name of a booth or something. I don't know if it was the actual company name. But, yeah, we had someone that would sell old stock or something. I actually have no information on that, or if there was money made from that, or how that all worked. I assume there was. I don't know. It's another one of those like little loose ends where I'm like, yeah, I got no clue. I don't know if they have anything physically. Techie had gacha machines? Yeah. But that's the thing, right? It's gacha machines and maybe it's like with different people's merch. I think that would be really fun. I don't know. You recall a website that had some old con merch, animesomething.com? They had Bishojo Tea online first. Yeah, I don't know all of our partners and who did what. Again, the information sharing was not good. The communications were bad, which was a complaint of mine. But yeah, so I got no clue. I got no clue. Auction off the warehouse boxes. Honestly, yeah, I'm trying to think of like if I get the old merch and then I don't have a way to verify anything, but I want it to be moved, you know, like to do something with it, I'll figure out a way. I will figure out a way. Will there be any Gerchets in Japan? We were talking about it. So since Horizons merch has my merch and they are gonna be there and they were like, yo, do you want to do a meet and greet? I said, yeah. We might be able to do something like that and they would be able to just bring existing stock with them. So that might be possible. It's not like confirmed what we're doing because I want to, I'm not trying to like take up half their table and stuff, you know? So maybe not. I gotta see how much we have left of certain things. Certain things already sold out or certain sizes of shirts, etc. So I gotta see. You said you just did your refund went through instantly? Ooh, okay, good. Good. If you do that, if you do chargeback or refund or whatever, and you have a mod ticket open in the Discord, go to it and make sure you say something about it so we know. It'd be helpful. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I would like for this to all be figured out quickly. I think it's all really simple. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Getting me the info I need to be able to get merch to people and do right by them is something that would take like maximum 2 hours of work. Absolute maximum, so. PayPal dispute resolved for you, including shipping in like 3 days. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think everyone's best off trying. Because with how long it's taken, now I'm like, you know, I was never incredibly hopeful that I would get the merch data. But obviously that whatever hopefulness was there goes down over time, right? So we'll see. I'm not making any assumptions, but obviously I'm not really keeping my fingers crossed too heavily. You know? But we'll see what happens. If I can get stuff, that'll be great. If not, but I do receive like, you know, Boris keychains, all these things, I'm thinking maybe I just throw them on the shop at some point. We just do a drop of them. Because I really like the products. I really like them. And that one technically was just never even fully released if no one got any, right? So I would want to have people who want them be able to get them at the very least. So we'll see. So you never have to deal with that? Yeah, it is what it is, right? What can you do? I don't know. But I'm gonna be as chill as I can about it and just do what I can. Keycap is cool. A lot of people did get their keycaps so far, which is great. A lot of people said they liked them, and I know there are some left. I think there's a good number of them left, actually. Let me see. I think it's enough that I would just put them out there on the shop again if I get them. Because they were looking pretty good. A lot of people really liked them. Oh my god, I don't know where my group chats are. God, I wish I could sort by group chats to make it faster so I don't have to scroll down. I hate scrolling so much. There we go. Oh my god. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Fidget keycap. Oh, actually, no, a lot of those sold. It's only 22 unsold. Yeah, so there should be a lot of those that I could get. That's it, yeah. My merch sold pretty well overall, you know, as far as like selling the number of things that I tried to order in, that I tried to predict. So that's good. There are a few things that didn't really sell yet because they weren't on the shop for very long, or they did but they weren't fulfilled. So there's some things there's a lot of stock of. So there's that. But for the most part, like, there are a lot of items, but there are a lot of different items. So it's like bits and bits here and there from all these different items. It amounts to a lot of unsold things, but each individual thing, you know, most of them I don't have too many left of. It's the more recent stuff, obviously, there's still a bunch of. And then, yeah, that key ring. That key ring, I have a lot of those. Or I'm supposed to have, assuming I get them, right? I would have a lot of those. Your stuff is not encrusted in boobs. Yeah, I try to make it like stuff that people can bring with them out into the world and not like cry and not get bullied for, you know? Right? So probably those that were held onto the ship with keychains. Yeah, yeah. That's why you don't buy VTuber merch. Honestly, yeah, like, I think there's nothing wrong with having a design like that. Having outfits that are the way they are, because it's just shown on stream. But then when you make merchandise, like, I try to picture people going out into the world wearing that shirt. And I try to picture them living a normal human life with that shirt, right? Obviously, I could, like, you can wear anything at a convention. And if you want to buy something crazy just to wear at a convention because you go to cons, that's fine, right? But, yeah, right, you're trying to go to the gym. You're trying to hang out with friends. Let's go with friends to go out and eat. I mean, some of the shirts people have, like, I can't imagine wearing that outside, you know? I don't know, man. So I have, like, I have some shirts that just had, like, me on it real big. But I tried to keep them, like, more line arty, you know? Just me standing there as much as possible. But even then, I was like, yeah, I want to do more low-key stuff. Because I feel like you need to, like, be able to go outside at the very least. Right?
Ever tried to bring a date home to a house with VTuber posters?
Oh.
I learned fast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we tend to take a certain angle with a lot of my merch, especially. It's just all about posing, right? Like, an outfit can look normal if the person is just standing there looking normal. But an outfit can look crazy if the person's standing there doing some crazy shit, right? Like, you just have to, you have to adjust it around. I don't know. That's why you bought that polo. Yeah, right. Like, it's it's just not gonna make you get bullied in public. You know? If you get the key rings, I'm getting one. Need a single keycap replacement, and also serves for stemming. Well, there are allegedly 22 of them that I would get, maybe. So we'll see. Hopefully. You want a VTuber lifestyle brand you can wear at the office that wasn't tailored to guys. Yeah, that's the problem too, is like a lot of merch that I see out in the world that I think is cute. I see stuff on the internet and I'm like, oh, I should do something like that. A lot of the time it's something that like a girl would like. And I do have an okay number of girls that watch, actually. It's more than like what I would usually expect. But is it enough for me to make like an entire line of stuff that's fitting for someone more feminine? Not always. So I feel like, you know, you have to be kind of neutral with it. But I feel like every now and then I like to do something that's a little bit cute where possible. I just haven't done it too much with apparel, but I want to. You're the 1%. No, I have a lot of girls actually that watch. There's a lot of girls. Every time we go to a convention and people come up and say hi, it's so many girls. Same with my meet and greet lines. It's a mix, but like there's a lot of representation. So it's good to see. It's good to see. A GEEGA apron? How many of you would actually buy a GEEGA apron, though?
Has Joel mentioned to you that he has 50% female viewership? I know he was trying to keep it low key.
He made it a fucking an emote in his chat. He made an entire emote to pull up his viewership stats where he screenshotted in multiple locations that he's got a 50-50 gender ratio between male female specifically, and then it's like 48 to 48, right, for the people picking other or don't want to say or whatever, right? But like out of the people that picked one or the other, it's 50-50. That's crazy. That's insane. That's insane. Your girlfriend loves my voice. Oh, thank you. He said, or Boone's lesbians. Yeah. Boone is always, he's like, I don't know why, but there's so many girls in my chat that are also lesbians, and I don't know why there's so many, but there's so many, and they love watching Boone. It's really funny. It's like a huge part of his demographic. I think it's so fitting for him, though. It's so fitting. Mousy said her sister watches you. Her sister loves me. It's funny. I don't know. The bitches love me, dude, or whatever. Is that what people say? It's just like NL. What was his stat again? How many was it was his? It was crazy. Something insane. Was he like 90% male? Isn't it the same with Barky as well? Oh, yeah, no, Barky's lesbian audience is like insanely high. He's a mostly female audience, but most of them are lesbians. And I don't know why they enjoy him so much, but they do. And I'm trying to figure out what's the same between him and Boone, and I feel like there's nothing. So it's just funny. I don't know. I know it was like 7% female. 7%? Oh. He's got the same demographic as a female VTuber, average female VTuber. That's crazy. Wow. Wow. That is crazy low. I mean, Twitch is skewed male, but they don't really give you your demographics on that. YouTube is the one that does. And YouTube is not nearly as skewed male. So having such a low percent on YouTube is crazy. It's crazy. Oh, it's so funny. Mouse has a high female viewer base. She has a lot of girls that watch her. Yeah, yeah. It's the aesthetic. It's the vibe. You'll notice a lot of her merch is stuff that like does look a bit more like someone feminine would wear it, and people buy it. It's because she has a big, female audience, which is nice. It's kind of rare to see. But for me, what does my YouTube say now? It's probably changed over time. Actually, it would depend on the different channels too. Mine definitely changes here and there. Jewelry and stuff, yeah. Exactly. Oh, that's right. I can't open YouTube Studio because it freezes every time. I'll go open a new browser later and check it. I'll check it after stream. It doesn't open on this browser for whatever reason. It just doesn't want to function. I have to go elsewhere for it, which is cool. Really, really cool. Love that. Love when YouTube functions. I don't know. I really want those stats on Twitch, and I don't know why we're not allowed to have them. Other than Twitch doesn't collect it, maybe? Yeah, if I look, I don't think they even collect it. I don't know. I will say, my UK viewership has gone up. UK and Germany were neck and neck. UK is now 1% over Germany. Take that, Germans or something. So that's interesting. That's real interesting. I don't know why that is, but it is. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, it doesn't give me anything about demographics still, other than country and then platform. And we are nearly at half and half web versus mobile viewership, which seems to be the case for everyone. That's not just a me thing. It used to be like 20-30% of my viewers were on mobile. Now it's like almost half, which is just nuts to think about. Absolutely nuts. I don't know. I'm looking at it and I'm like, Jesus. Jesus Christ. That is crazy. Is TV considered mobile? No, TV is TV. About to be 60-40. It's more than 60-40. It's 53% are on web. Smart TV and all of that, it's listed in its own percentage as TV. So that's pretty cool, actually. Pretty cool to know, but it does give me a direct TV stat too. Yeah, the smart fridge. All two of you that have a smart fridge that watch me on it. Yep. I don't know. That's why like for Mafia, I was like, let me make the subtitles extra large. Let me pick the extra large option, because I was looking the other day at how many people watch on mobile, and I was like, okay, I think I need to make the words real big, because they're not gonna be able to see it. I don't know. Just something to think about. Like now when I'm arranging stuff on stream, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like hyper aware of it, that people are watching a lot of the time on a smaller and smaller screen. So I have to think about like how stuff is placed, what you can see, what you can't see, all of that. So I don't know. I like when people watch on web, because then when I put small elements on the screen, you can see it, you can read it. But you know, if people are watching on a phone, then I don't know. There's some stuff you just have to get rid of at a certain point, right? Watching on portrait mode on phone, you're only 3 inches diagonally. Only 3. Only 3. Jesus. Fight was mentioning Twitch was trying to roll out a vertical orientation broadcast option. Okay, if I were doing just chatting, I'd be cool with that. If I am playing a game, impossible. Impossible. No way. No way. I would never want to do vertical. Just turn your phone. Just turn your phone. They have portrait mode for a reason, right?
They know how I'm watching. What else do they know about what I'm watching? I might need to brush up on the Fifth Amendment real quick.
Brother, they know everything. They have everything. There's nothing you can hide at this point, okay? They send you ads. You'll just think about like, oh, I need to buy more sponges. You don't even say a word. Next thing you know, you see an ad for sponges. They're in your brain, dog. No salvation. No salvation. And on that note, let's play a game. We did long chatting today. Let's play some games. I have a list here. Do you want... Okay. Either pick one of these two. Which demo or game do I go with first? Do I go with Gecko Gods, where you just are a gecko and explore? I don't really know what else the game is about. Or Kabuto Park, where you collect beetles and make them fight each other. They do like pushing battles.
In my brain, I know how to fix that. Time for everyone's favorite solution, alcohol.
I hate drinking. You can drink if you want, though. What are you thinking? Bugs, some gecko, mostly beetles. I think it's like beetle sumo. Okay. Okay, we'll start with that. Let's go over here.